Hello and welcome to this short video on how to use a Kanban board or similar to plan out your development work. So what you can see on the screen here is an example of the one, or in fact the exact one I used. In fact, this was the one that is used or has been used to plan out the work on producing this course. So you'll see I'm using a tool called ClickUp, but there are also other tools that can do this, like Trello and Microsoft Planner and all of those sorts of things. I just find ClickUp really does the job. It has a lot of automations and other bits and bobs you can do, as well as some dashboarding and those sorts of things, time recording. So in essence, what I do is just take this default setup of columns. So you can see I've got a column here called To Do. I've got a column called In Progress, one called Parked for any issues or items that are blocked or I've decided not to do that don't fall into this blocked one, and then one for closed, which indicates when I've completed the activity. So simply put, what you do is when you have a development task or a feature or anything like you want to add to your backlog of tasks to do, you simply add it to the backlog. I'm not going to go and add a new one, but what I'll do is show you one, for example, where I've planned in module 6 to add some support documentation. Let's just open that up. You can see what I've created here is 2 subtasks, so I can manage those tasks individually. But then essentially what I'll do is once I start using a task, for example, this one here, record Kanban demo, which I'm doing right now, I'm just going to pick this up and drag it to my in progress column. So I know that I'm working on this at the moment. So if I pause working today and I don't finish this one, I can come back and I know where I am. Again, and this is just a ClickUp example. You know, you can add some detail around this. You can add some text. You can add attachments and all of those sorts of things. But I think in its basic format, keep it simple. Use this column structure. And then once you've completed that task, you actually drag it across to the closed column and it's done. So I find this as a really easy way to help manage my workload. It's a fantastic tool, ClickUp, but just the concept of a Kanban board is really easy to use. Once you start getting a little more advanced and you want to sort of plan it out like a project plan, you can add dates as I've done here. So for example, you can see some of those are a little bit behind, my bad, but essentially you can then create a Gantt chart and you can start getting kind of this sort of view of the world as if you were planning a big project. But yeah, that's really it. So hopefully that's giving you a good idea of how the Kanban board works. And yeah, feel free to drop me any notes or any questions that you might have. See you in the next module.